After long deliberations and very intense discussions, we came to a conclusion that following the graphs that we saw before in the presentation, we could see a very stark view. The more socialist / communist countries, the more communist they were, the more eco-friendly they were. Let's take the example. Cuba, North Korea, almost zero emissions, really. Carbon footprint hit by November. It's a very interesting narrative. So that's why we decided, so for eco-friendly reasons, we decided communism is actually good. It might be a solution. And also, another reason why we decided on communism is good is whenever we have these things, the Green parties, in countries like Austria and Germany, the Green Party always allies with the communists because their views on solutions towards like eco-friendliness align. Now, the reason why we chose communism instead of going for the Green Party, saying like, okay, let's go eco-fascism. Let's put everybody to stick their hands on the asphalt and block all cars. We decided that communism would be a better solution because certain things, okay, we're a society, we're a government. Certain things we will want to have progress. Unfortunately, there is limitations on renewable energy sources. For example, I don't know, solar is not really an option in Nordic countries, and you're very much stuck with what the earth gives you. And there are power outages when you try solar and wind as well. But we found a solution in nuclear energy, which my colleague Daria will talk about.
Okay, so the nuclear power plants is the best option because they're actually considerably extremely safe. And for example, to add something, I will add something. Several people in Europe, they are dying because of the coal mines, and they are dying. They are.
Okay, so basically what the narrative is that nuclear energy is the most eco-friendly type of source that we can do. Coal mines, coal power plants, they produce the most pollution possible. Oil power plants, they also produce a lot of pollution. But with nuclear, the emissions are close to zero. It's not zero, that's correct, but still, we want a reliable source of energy. This is why we believe that nuclear energy is the best source that we can. Now, in the continent like Europe, there are certain limitations, but there still are places where we can find uranium from. The Czech Republic and Romania have uranium resources, so we can source them from let's say the European Union. If we talk about a European country, there's also like the free trade of international trade market. Iran is also doing nuclear power plants. Now, with Iran, they're also developing the bomb, but still, the clean energy, almost close to zero. What's the next subject?
We also have government has to be e-government. We decided Elena can talk about it.
The solution to not waste the paper is use the technologies such as the computer and telephone, and so we need to digitize everything such as bureaucracy and for payment of taxes and fees and other things.
Yeah, basically accessibility from house. You don't have to go to a municipality to issue your birth certificate while you can do it like in a few seconds from your home. So you have just saved a lot of energy waste consumption on the way.
We're not even talking about the amount of paper that you're
Right,
saving.
that's something else. And
I can talk about the cars actually.
Please go ahead.
We will slowly decrease the production of the cars which are using oil for the energy, and we will increase the production of cars which are using electricity to move. And then we will slowly ban the cars and use the public transportation and
yeah, I would actually talk about the mobility in our government. We are on the top power in the hierarchy. So if we want to consider the supply chain from A to Z, from individual to the industry itself, there's a lot of things in the middle. So instead of privating every privating the trains, for example, in our government, we find it is more efficient to be more public and accessible. We can invest also in tech rates. We can expand our network where we can access everywhere more easily and fluently. And we have an example where, for example, in the UK, you can talk about it.
Yes.
How did they privatize?
The UK,
How did they
Great
privatize?
Britain had the first and the most extended rail network in the world, actually. They were the first one to conduct all of this, like the train system, and it was running perfectly until the 70s. And this is also a conversation that we had. Should we let certain things to private companies and stuff like that? And we came to the conclusion that some things should not be touched by private companies. They shouldn't be for profit.
Exactly.
Which is energy, the energy sector we feel, health sector, but that's another subject, and especially transportation, especially trains. Case in point, the UK, 70s, everything was actually state-run, and then in the 70s, Margaret Thatcher, the Thatcher regime, came over and we're like, no, we want free market, we want privatization. And now we have 5 or 6 oligopolies inside of the UK, which made transport by rail so expensive. It's efficient, don't get me wrong, it's efficient, and the European Union considers the most eco-friendly transportation method possible. They have privatized it, and at this point, it costs you £160, £170 to go from Edinburgh in the north to London. It's easier to take a Ryanair flight for 5 or 10 or 20 euros, or a Flixbus.
Yes.
No, it's not okay. So that's why we decided, under a communist regime, either way, you cannot have private entities. No, this is state-owned.
Affordable, fit by our nuclear power plant, and you can buy the ticket online. You don't have to ride a car that emits a lot of carbon dioxide. So that's our ecosystem. We find it
Yes.
effective, actually, in this argument.
Yes.
So at
Okay.
the end, communism good. Thank you very